SD Gundam Age FX. Hey, what's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net, and carrying on in the tradition of the Age 1, 2, and 3, we've got Kio's Age FX. He's the third protagonist, it's the fourth lead, but anyway, it's the fifth SD in the lineup, so let's see it all put together after you've seen the parts, and see how this is going to look on your shelf. When he's all put together compared to his predecessors who sold for 1,000, 1,000, and 1,200 for the Age 1, 2, 3 respectively, it seems like you're definitely not getting as much plastic here just in terms of value, but when you look at the way he's all going to be lit up here and colorful, and by lit up I mean not almost like a Christmas tree, except instead of colorful lights he's just going to have green lights here, but it looks like he's going to have all the right colors in all the right places and have all the right detail. It's going to be helped if you want to go ahead and use a black Gundam marker or get some proper ink in there. However, he's definitely looking good and has tons of details, again, that you could never imagine on an SD just a few short years ago. Posability, though, is going to be a bit of an issue, as he actually seems quite a bit back-heavy, as you can guess here, with the core fighter and all that weight back there. And you're going to have some trouble, so you're going to have to twist the legs back, but you're not going to get all that much ankle rotations, or you're not going to be able to rotate the ankles all that far back. So not much you can do besides just spread the feet or the toes apart there and sort of hope for the best. The waist is going to move around, but not all that much. The shoulders, as Bandai proudly proclaimed on the box, are going to pop out there a little bit, but that's not going to do much except bring his arm a little bit closer to touching the middle of his body. But really nothing spectacular. You're going to get the elbows that are just going to bend up not even 90 degrees. These C-funnels, though, you'll notice are not going to be falling out, which is a bit nice. And you've got this core fighter here, which is going to move up this much, and the head is going to move around on just its regular double ball joint. Comparison time now, kicking things off with Grandpa Flit, he of forcing him to play PS3, Gundam vs. Gundam Extreme Savior versus, and you can just take a look here that it looks sort of that the Age 1 and very familiar to the advanced grade is going to have all sorts of colors built into the chest and waist section, and the Age FX actually looks just a little bit simpler, but it's when you really look at it that the green seals there are going to come and help it out, and of course the C-funnels and that big yellow V-fin are definitely going to help him look very busy. Here is Father of the Year, Asuno, in his Age 2 normal when he was the main character before this turned white and before it eventually became a pirate as he came back to eventually claim his prize. You can see here that the Age 2 for 1,000 yen is also going to be giving you a chunk more plastic, remember, because you're getting also the parts for the double bullet, and for the Age 1 you also got the Titus and the Sparrow parts there. But in terms of bulk, the Age 2 is definitely going to be filled out. Again, the chest looks a little bit busier instead of in terms of colors, but the clear green and the yellow still really helps the FX. Here is Kio's predecessor suit to the Age FX, the Age 3 normal. So Kio actually had two leads by himself when he was the main protagonist. And you've got that definite double Zeta feel here with a much simpler set of waist and legs. Definitely very plain, but the fact that they're going to give you that little red detail for the waist and the yellow on the shoulders, and an even better V-fin, I'd say, there for the normal, I guess you're going to have to pick your own in terms of aesthetics and which one you prefer. Here's another 1,000 yen SD Gundam that's not going to have a transformation, but the Legolas is going to have some cool features like the head blasting off into a useless core fighter, and the wings moving around, again lots of color details, and actually he seems to be towering over the hero of the second half of the show. And what does an extra 200 yen get? Well, you'd think that it would get you the kit on the right, but instead this is only going to be 800, still pricier than the initial run of the 6. Compared to the 1,000 that you're going to be getting over here, this one's going to have a yellow neck, yellow on the sides, a clear green part there for the chest, which the SD relied on a seal. You're going to have all the right colors in the chest and down on the legs. You're also going to have some gray inner frame exposed there, and the back of the calves are going to have the blue. I suppose the big difference is that you're just not going to be getting the big gun for this advanced grade. And once more a reminder of just how far SDs have come, and remember the V2AB is really one of the better of the old school SDs. Arming them up means taking the beam rifle here and just detaching this gray part before attaching this into the hand, which you can move that backpack up and you're going to see so much green on the back, but you can have him staring down the barrel at it pretty well there. That forestock is going to move around there, and the parts that are actually separated there by putting them on their more forward position are going to look pretty sharp. Somewhat disappointing, though, that the feet aren't going to bend, because even going back, this is the 30th anniversary, which I believe is based on an even earlier version of the RX-78-2. Is it the perfect? Anyway, you can see here that his feet are going to move, which are going to allow for some much cooler poses there, which means I suppose really they're thinking of getting this guy aerial, if you want to try to go cool. Which leaves the question, is this it, in terms of the definition of cool there? Anyway, the bazooka is going to work pretty well, except you are going to have the problem, though, just because it is long and you're adding that extra part in there, that it's, of course, going to bump into the shoulder, which has been a problem with Gundam bazookas since, about 1980 here. Not all that bad, though, if you're just going to bring the whole arm up, but just don't rely on the elbows itself. Too bad that all the green is going to be hidden in the back, and you can't really bring the bazooka across the body, which means you're sort of out of posing options with no beam sabers in sight. And looking around the box for ideas, yes, you are able to take the forestock there and actually bend it into the hand, but it's really not going to be all that solid and expose an awful lot of hollow plastic there underneath. And when you go for the old EK Fangs pose there, well, it's sort of disappointing again that the toes aren't going to go down, not just for ground poses, but for aerial poses as well. He could have had an extra set of fingers to have the old finger point or something like that, the dynamic grasp, and the big thing he's missing is just that big chunk of plastic that you can attach those C-funnels onto. So this is pretty much it, unless you're going to go and borrow some parts from the other grades. So on to some final thoughts, because he's definitely not all bad, but also not going to be quite good. Let's start with the price of 1,000 yen. Just taking a look here at my old bag. Of course, this is ×3, but these are the Age 1 parts that you're going to be getting extras of. These are the Age 3 still. They kind of come with an original gimmick, so you can take all the extra wares and have them off here. But here for 1,000 yen, you're getting a solid Gundam with some decent plates, although a little bit small. Nice that you're going to be getting all the multiple colors on there. But in terms of pure playability, if you want to compare this to the Age 1, 2, and 3, which are going to have all sorts of cool gimmicks, wares, transformations, etc., this guy, the only gimmick he's going to have is the clear green C-funnels, which are going to look good, and the gun, which is going to change. And outside of his general good looks, there's just not that much more to it. So I'd say definitely in the advanced grade category, but the advanced grade has the benefit of just being the larger size, and he's also going to have the pluses of some extra green parts, some extra gray color apps all over the place. So I almost have to wonder if the advanced grade is not better than the SD for what you're getting in terms of price. However, will you be disappointed if you pick up this kit? No, because you've got the choice of eyes, great colors, fun to put together, but there's just so much more that could have been done with this. And you also have to wonder just a little bit in terms of the future, that if they're not going to do a C-funnel or a burst version, if we're going to have something like we're going to be getting with the HG, because with this one, he had all sorts of extra attachment points all over the body. You could buy multiple versions to take care of those if you wanted to do that. You could be doing the same thing for the SD. You can see back there on the back of the core fighter, and specifically on the legs, you could use the long or the shorts to get those in there and fill them up. So you have to wonder if there's going to be a blue one or something else coming out in the future, or it's the kind of thing that you could always paint up, but definitely a complaint for some is that they would rather have an all clear part here, so that if you want to paint it up in blue and do it proper burst style, that you don't have to be constrained by the green that Bandai is using. However, if you want to go and take the rings from the high grades, you could. It's just a big complaint of mine is that they've got 3 grades and 3 different styles here. And really, how nice would it have been if these were all interchangeable? I'm talking about AG, HG, SD, and you could just have 3 of these guys and get 3 sets around one guy and do all sorts of cool stuff with it, specifically the high grade, because definitely the extra cost is going to justify the extra plastic involved in the support ring. But on looks alone, and as a lead Gundam in SD form, really, it's hard to complain. Anyway, everybody, why don't you let me know what you think of the kit, Kio, the Age FX, the Age 3 Normal, and the prospects of anything else that we could be getting in the future from the SD line, from Age, or any other Gundams that are due for a remake, 2.0s. That would be a dream. Anyway, everybody, as always, let me know what you think of this kit and the videos itself, and stick around for lots more news, reviews, and everything else you can use. Thanks for watching. Bye. Sorry, kid, your C-funnels definitely topped by my F-funnels. Since his C-funnels have no way of being displayed, maybe instead of saying EK Fangs, well, you know what he means for C-funnels, maybe he should be saying Go Age 3s, if they're not all busy getting reverse engineered at the moment.